Hi, my name's Caleb.
And I'm Greta.
And so we just got married just over a week ago, actually, and super new. It still feels kind of weird to like call her my wife or refer to her as my wife. But so we got engaged in January, and shortly thereafter we bought this van here, and we started building it out and converting it and planning exactly what we wanted to put in it. And it took about 4 months to build, and I finished it right before our wedding so we could take it on our honeymoon trip. And it was super fun. It worked out well on all the bumpy roads, nothing fell apart, because we went down to central Arizona and did a lot of exploring and hiking and biking and some climbing down there. And we wanted to, now that we've kind of broken it in a little bit, we wanted to show you all what we've done to the van and kind of why we put different things in it and our thought process in that. So I'm gonna follow Greta around with the camera and she'll go ahead and describe most of it.
Yeah, he's a much better videographer than I am, so I'll do the talking, he'll do the filming, and let's go.
Sounds good.
Okay, welcome to the inside of our van. The first thing we do when we get into our van is we take off our shoes and we put them under and around this chair. There's actually lots of room under it for a couple pairs of our shoes. And then on the chair itself, we've been storing like my purse and a camera bag just for quick and easy access as we get in and out of the van. Above the front cab, we have this big headliner space. Up here, we keep toiletries, we keep extra electronics like a lantern, a vacuum, camera gear, and then some of our Reflectix window covers that you can maybe see poking out around here that insulate our van. And so this is the front of the van, just kind of like catch-all storage, and it's been awesome. Okay, so moving to the back wall of the van, starting on this side, we kind of have this little niche that we have this like reusable, expandable garbage bag that fits nicely, and then a little composter, and then some more of our Reflectix window covers. On the counter space, not really on, but on top, we have this hanging fruit basket that just kind of expands our storage and allows us a good place to put different fruits and vegetables. Underneath the counter here, we have our isotherm fridge. It runs on AC and DC power and is 130 liters, which is ginormous and kind of fits whatever we want to throw at it, no matter how many groceries we buy. And on top of it, we have this big butcher block countertop. It's nice and thick and large enough to fit a full-size camping pad for when we have guests. We haven't yet. We've only had the van for a little bit, but we're excited to host friends and family in the future. Above the counter, we have these first 3 cabinets that store our food. And the cabinets themselves have these 10-pound pull latches to keep them shut and gas struts to keep them up when we open them. The cabinet fronts, along with our other drawers and our sink in the van, are all from IKEA. We custom built the cabinets and kind of customized our drawers to make them work in a van, but they're all IKEA cabinets. Behind the counter, we have this little tray that Caleb made, and eventually we hope to plant some herbs in it to have a little in-van herb garden, maybe some basil, cilantro, things like that. But right now it's been a nice little storage spot for water bottles, phones, just anything we have out while we're working, but don't want to be in our way. Okay, so moving on over next to the fridge, we have drawers. Like I said, they're from IKEA. We've customized them slightly. They have these nice pull latches. And the top one, we keep a lot of our utensils in. We keep our spices, some reusable like silicone bags, the remote to our fan, and just some like random electronics chargers and things we use often. The next drawer down holds most of our dishware and pots and pans. We have some enamel dishware that is really nice because it won't break as we drive. We have our favorite Nalgene bowls for when we're out all day and want to throw in some snacks, a Dutch oven, some camp pots and pans, some enamel glasses, insulated mugs, everything we need for eating and living on the road. And then in our bottom drawer, we have our appliances that kind of round out our kitchen. And our kitchen is made up of a propane camp stove, a blender, and an Instapot. And we specifically built our van with these appliances in mind and have an inverter large enough to run them. Next to our set of drawers, we have a desk. because Calum is a full-time student and I work full-time, we wanted to have a full-time workspace. And so this allows us to leave anything we're working on out if we need to go anywhere, instead of having a sliding table that we actually are eventually going to put here so me and Calum can eat dinner together comfortably. And so that is our kitchen. Okay, so here's our bed. Our bed is a queen short mattress. It has 6 inches of foam and it's awesome. On top of it, we just have this linen duvet, a wool blanket for when it gets cold at night, and these wool pillow shams that are actually conveniently extra clothes storage. The rest of our clothes are stored in these back cabinets that are just like the front cabinets, but store our clothes and personal items. And then the last piece of our sleeping area is this custom window we put in. It slides open at night, and when we turn on our max air fan, we get a really nice breeze through here that keeps us cool on those hot summer nights. Okay, so next to our bed, we have one of our outlets. We have one here, one in the back, and one in our kitchen. They have USBs, they work just like any outlets in your house, and they've been great. Above the outlets, we have one switch for our sink pump that we can turn off when we need to switch our water jugs in and out, and then next to it we have 2 light switches, one for the 4 lights in the back and one for the 4 lights in the front. Below our little like switch control panel, we have a bench. It's awesome for lounging on, but also secretly houses our composting toilet. We weren't originally going to put this toilet in the van, but we found it secondhand and it's been a lifesaver. I cannot imagine having it. It's super easy to use and it's worked good so far. And then next to our bench in our toilet area, we have our sink cabinet. It's also from IKEA, like I said, along with the faucet and the sink itself. It has the same butcher block countertop as we have on the other side of our van. And for the most part, this cabinet just houses our water. We wanted as much water storage as we can. So we have 3 jugs, 2 for clean drinking water and 1 for gray water. When we switch over between our clean drinking water jugs, we empty our gray water jug. And then we have a little niche next to it that is big enough to store soap and like a dish brush, but not much else. For the most part, this is just water. And that kind of wraps up the inside of the van. A couple more things I want to mention is the flooring. We use this life-proof, waterproof flooring that looks a lot like real hardwood, but holds up well to wear and tear of living in a van and hides dirt. Awesome. And then up here, you can see we still kind of have an empty spot. We're hoping to put a hangboard here, but the hangboard we want is currently out of stock and we can't buy it. But you can also see some of our insulation sticking out. And we used Havelock wool. Just because we're living in a small space, we wanted a non-toxic option. And we found Havelock wool online. We also have some friends that use them and we've loved it so far. It insulates our van well and is super easy to install. And I'm gonna put a link down below to their website in case you wanna check them out. And like I said, this is kind of the end of the inside, but we also want to show you the outside of the van. And so I will meet you outside. Okay, welcome outside. The last thing I'm going to mention about the interior is the door of our sink cabinet. It just makes it much easier to slide in and out our water jugs when we need to refill. But closing the door and moving around back, you can see the custom window we put in over our bed from the outside. And then on the back of our van, we've installed this trailer hitch and a bike rack from Yakima for our mountain bikes. We originally thought we'd store them inside, but we wanted more storage and living space just because we'll be living in the van full time. And now we have more than we could possibly need. And this has worked really great. It locks so our bikes are safe and makes it super easy to load them and unload them. So on this side of the van, we have this power port that Calum installed. When we plug an extension cord into it, our batteries charge and our outlets run off of offshore power. This is just kind of like a safety net for if it's cloudy for a long time and we need more power. We can go park at a KOA or a friend's house and charge our batteries. Our other safety net we have is an alternator charger that we installed. And so when we're driving our van, our batteries also get charged off of our alternator. The last modification that you can see on the outside is this other custom window. You saw it in our kitchen. It's just a window and it looks great. On top of our van, we installed 3 100-watt Renogy solar panels. Those are our primary source of power, I guess, for the van, and they've worked awesome. In the middle of those, we have our max air fan, and that kind of sums up the modifications we've done so far to the outside. We have a couple more planned, but this is our van and we love it, and thank you for watching.